A new challenger appears in the lawsuit for voter integrity, while Time's unveiling of their contenders for Person of the Year reminds us that they too enjoy capitalism. Welcome to OK Miles. When we last left off, we were at a total of 17 states getting involved in the Texas lawsuit. Well, better late than never, it seems that Arizona wants a piece of the pie too. The amicus briefing reads, "Our system of federalism relies on separation of powers to preserve liberty at every level of government, and the separation of powers in the Electors Clause is no exception. The states have a strong interest in preserving the proper roles of state legislatures in the administration of federal elections and thus safeguarding the individual liberty of their citizens." Now, prior to Arizona jumping on board, the Twitterverse started the hashtag Seditious17. Maybe we change that to Enlighten18 now that Arizona's on board. I am eager to see the oral arguments during this case. Why, you may ask? Because none other than Kevin Malone imposter, Senator Ted Cruz, will likely be arguing the case. If you're unaware of the Kevin Malone reference, but you have watched The Office before, this came from 2016 when Cruz was running for president.
Skinny Kevin! We want answers!
Today, the not so long awaited final four contenders for Time's Person of the Year in 2020 were revealed. They are, in no particular order, the racial justice movement, Dr. Anthony Fauci and first responders, this old guy, and President Trump. The hilarity on just how wide the spectrum Time has for the nominees was made apparent when their editor, Edward Felsenthal, appeared on the Today Show to announce them. The excuse for putting Biden was that he won more popular votes than any other president. I feel like there's a lawsuit going on about that, but I'm not quite sure. Then, he went on to claim that Fauci was someone to stand up for science.
Some way, Dr. Fauci in the United States standing up for science.
Forgive me, I just don't understand how the science changed so quickly en masse.
Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better.
The racial justice movement. Watch him explain why before I dive into this one.
Galvanize this massive reaction, demonstrations, by some measures, the largest mass protests in U.S. history.
Now, we all remember the mostly peaceful protests that occurred. CNN did some excellent work reporting on them.
What you are seeing now, these images came and come in stark contrast to what we saw over the course of the daytime hours in Kenosha and into the early evening, which were largely peaceful demonstrations.
This has sent the left into critical hysteria. MSNBC decided to swap out the picture of a protest with one of George Floyd, causing many on the internet cesspool to remind us that that was indeed his name. I haven't forgotten his name, but if I did, I just likely reference the same police report Time magazine did when deciding not to put him as the Person of the Year. On to why the president is on the short list.
He wasn't reelected, but he's not going away. He's still very much in control of the Republican Party. He's completely changed the norms of campaigning from the White House, as he's changed so many norms throughout his term. He's obviously had a huge influence, for better or worse, as we say, with Person of the Year and in how we've handled the coronavirus pandemic. And so obviously massive influence on the year.
Right. Let's make no mention of the peace deals in the Middle East or that Morocco is now normalizing relations with Israel. Maybe Time doesn't want to completely ignore Republicans in the offshot that the election results go our way through the judiciary. Because, you know, they need to make money. And capitalism is great. Moving now to the wonderful folks at Media Matters, which, if you didn't know, is the left-leaning nonprofit group that literally watches the media waiting for someone to say something on the conservative side to use it against them. They don't even try to hide their politicization. On their About Us page at MediaMatters.org, it says, quote, Media Matters for America is a web-based, not-for-profit 501c3 progressive research and information center dedicated to comprehensively monitoring, analyzing, and correcting conservative misinformation in the United States media. These idiots are now targeting Rush Limbaugh. On his show, when answering a question, he was clarifying his understanding of the question being asked. He began by reiterating the question from his caller of whether there is a divide culturally too great between large cities and middle America.
I thought you were asking me something else when you said, well, can we win? I meant, I thought you meant, can we win the culture? Can we dominate the culture?
Now, in between, he admitted that he has alluded to his belief that we are trending towards secession.
I actually think, and I've referenced this, I've alluded to this a couple of times, because I've seen others allude to this. I actually think that we're trending toward secession.
Instead, you have the left doing this reordering on his conversation to make it look worse. I am not the only one who sees a cultural divide in the United States, am I? Nonetheless, if you enjoyed today's show, please like and share this video and follow me on social media. Until tomorrow, this has been OK Miles.